Ladies and gentlemen, success is not an accident, it is not luck, and it is not reserved for the chosen few. Success is the result of inner belief combined with disciplined direction. There are people with talent who never win, people with intelligence who never break through, and people with opportunity who still stay stuck. Why? Because talent without belief collapses under pressure, and belief without direction drifts into frustration. That's why faith and focus, when combined, become the ultimate success accelerators. Faith creates inner certainty before results appear. Faith is the decision to stand firm before life gives you proof. It is the inner certainty that says, I will not retreat, even when progress feels slow and the outcome is still unclear. Most people wait for confidence to arrive after results show up, but those who achieve extraordinary success reverse the order. They choose belief first. They decide who they are and what they are committed to long before the evidence confirms it. That decision alone changes how they think, how they act, and how they respond under pressure. When obstacles appear, faith becomes your emotional armor. Without it, every setback feels personal, every delay feels like failure, and every challenge feels like a warning sign. With faith, challenges lose their power to intimidate you. They become part of the process instead of a reason to quit. Faith allows you to stay grounded when things don't move fast enough, strong when others doubt you, and calm when uncertainty tries to shake your resolve. Faith also changes your relationship with fear. Fear doesn't disappear, but it stops being in control. Instead of asking, what if this doesn't work? You begin asking, what if I don't give this my full effort? That shift is powerful. It moves you from hesitation to action, from self-protection to self-leadership. Faith gives you the courage to take bold steps even when comfort is no longer guaranteed. Another hidden power of faith is consistency. Motivation comes and goes, but faith keeps you moving when excitement fades. On days when results are invisible and progress feels minimal, faith reminds you why you started. It reinforces your commitment when discipline feels heavy and when quitting would be easier. This is where most people fall off, but this is also where momentum is quietly being built by those who refuse to stop. Ultimately, faith creates identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is trying and start seeing yourself as someone who is becoming. You act differently when your belief is unshakable. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. And over time, reality begins to align with the identity you've chosen. Success doesn't create faith. Faith creates the success that eventually becomes undeniable. Focus turns energy into momentum. Focus is what transforms raw effort into real progress. You can have ambition, passion, and drive, but without focus, those qualities scatter in too many directions. When attention is divided, results slow down. Focus is the act of choosing one meaningful direction and committing to it long enough for momentum to build. The moment you stop chasing everything and start pursuing one clear objective, your energy stops leaking and begins to multiply. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they allow distractions to dictate their day. Distractions are subtle. They look harmless, productive, even necessary, but each one pulls you slightly off course. Focus is the discipline of protecting your time, your attention, and your mental space. It requires intentional boundaries and the courage to say no to things that feel urgent, but are not important. That discipline is not restrictive, it is liberating. When focus is strong, action becomes deliberate. Instead of reacting emotionally, you respond strategically. You stop switching directions every time doubt appears or someone else's opinion enters the picture. Focus keeps your mind anchored, allowing you to move forward with clarity even when conditions are uncertain. This steadiness is what separates those who make steady progress from those who constantly restart. Sustained focus creates a compounding effect. Small actions repeated with consistency and precision begin to stack on top of each other. Progress that once felt invisible suddenly becomes undeniable. What was once overwhelming becomes manageable because focus simplifies complexity. You are no longer trying to do everything. You are doing the right things again and again until they work. Over time, focus reshapes your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who finishes, someone who follows through, someone who stays committed when excitement fades. That identity builds confidence and trust in yourself. And once momentum takes hold, effort feels lighter, results come faster, and success accelerates. Faith eliminates fear. Focus eliminates confusion. Fear and confusion are two of the greatest enemies of progress. Fear paralyzes action and confusion drains energy. Faith and focus work together to neutralize both. Faith strengthens your inner stability, allowing you to move forward even when uncertainty is present. Instead of waiting for fear to disappear, you learn to act despite it. When belief is strong, fear loses its authority over your decisions. Faith changes the questions you ask yourself. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" you begin asking, "What if I don't try?" That shift rewires your mindset. Fear no longer feels like a stop sign. It becomes a signal that growth is happening. Faith reminds you that discomfort is not danger, and uncertainty is not a warning to quit. It is simply part of the path toward expansion. Focus, on the other hand, brings order to mental chaos. Confusion often comes from too many options, too many opinions, and too much information. Focus cuts through that noise. It narrows your attention to what you can control right now. When you know your next step, overwhelm fades. You stop spinning in thought and start moving with purpose. When faith and focus operate together, hesitation disappears. You no longer wait for perfect clarity or guaranteed outcomes. Faith gives you the courage to begin, and focus gives you the structure to continue. This combination creates decisive action. Faith sets the vision, focus executes the mission. Every meaningful achievement begins with a clear vision of what is possible. Faith is what allows you to see beyond your current circumstances and imagine a future that does not yet exist. It stretches your perception and expands your standards. Without faith, vision shrinks to what feels safe and familiar. With faith, vision becomes bold, compelling, and powerful enough to pull you forward through uncertainty and resistance. But vision alone is not enough. Many people are inspired by big ideas yet remain stuck because inspiration without execution fades quickly. That is where focus takes over. Focus translates vision into daily actions. It turns a long-term dream into short-term priorities. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the size of the goal, focus breaks it down into clear, manageable steps that can be acted on consistently. Faith gives meaning to discipline. When you believe deeply in where you are going, sacrifice stops feeling like loss and starts feeling like investment. Early mornings, uncomfortable decisions, and delayed gratification become easier to sustain because they are connected to a larger purpose. Faith reminds you why the effort matters, especially on days when motivation is low and results are not yet visible. Focus ensures that effort is not wasted. It keeps you aligned with your mission when distractions, doubts, and competing demands appear. Focus prevents you from drifting, from chasing shortcuts, or from abandoning the plan. Every time when faith and focus align, you become unstoppable. When faith and focus align, something powerful happens inside you. Belief gives you emotional strength, and focus gives you directional clarity. Together, they remove the inner resistance that causes most people to stall. You no longer waste energy fighting yourself, doubting your decisions, or questioning your worth. Your mind and actions begin moving in the same direction, and progress accelerates naturally. Alignment creates consistency, and consistency creates momentum. Instead of starting and stopping, you stay engaged. Instead of relying on temporary motivation, you operate from commitment. Faith keeps you steady when results take time, while focus keeps you disciplined when distractions appear. This combination allows you to keep moving forward regardless of external circumstances or emotional fluctuations. When belief and attention are aligned, pressure stops breaking you and starts sharpening you. Challenges no longer feel like threats, they feel like tests of strength and growth. You stop taking setbacks personally and start using them strategically. Each obstacle becomes feedback instead of failure, and every challenge becomes an opportunity to refine your approach rather than abandon your mission. This alignment also elevates your standards. You no longer tolerate inconsistency, excuses, or half effort. You demand more from yourself because you trust your ability to rise. Faith reinforces your identity, and focus reinforces your discipline. Over time, these standards become habits, and those habits shape outcomes that others see as extraordinary. Eventually, momentum becomes self-sustaining. Confidence is no longer something you seek from results. It is something you generate through action. You move with certainty, adapt without panic, and persist without hesitation. And when faith fuels your belief and focus directs your effort, success is no longer a possibility, it becomes inevitable.